So today we have some big stories. We're going to talk about Walmart and how we think it's a good thing. We're going to change and be like RFK, make America healthy again. We're going to change all our synthetics to make it where they're healthy. Well, the part we forgot is they knew they were unhealthy. Why in the world are they just now trying to make them healthy? Where have we been? A lot of their chemicals have been banned. A lot of their foods have been banned all over the world, except for America. So they kept feeding us garbage knowing it was garbage. So is Walmart a winner here? Are we happy that they're coming around? But why have they not already come around? We're going to discuss Walmart and our food system, along with, are we actually seeing bioweapons in our food? That's crazy, but all these chemicals, they're not good for us. We're going to listen to some doctors talk about it. Secondly, we're going to talk about what Beck is doing to help someone in Canada. His plea for America is not to become that. Well, when healthcare costs $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year for a family of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then we push for a government-style healthcare. Well, what's happening is that government-style healthcare is actually taking people's lives in Canada. We're going to discuss that, how this scary thing that's taking place in Canada is going to happen here with assisted deaths. You don't believe me? This is exactly the way they started, was socializing medicine, and then all of a sudden, well, if we can't help you, then I guess we can help you die. You don't believe me? Let's talk about it. Also, Beck's plea for America. And then lastly, we're going to discuss, I'm angry and I'm mad because I got my property tax stubs in the mail yesterday. 25 to 30% increase for nothing. We're going to discuss how I got robbed, pretty much, and how you're getting robbed, and how if we really want conservatives and freedom and liberty again, we need to find people who are willing to fight for our tax dollars back. I don't want you to give me cuts. I don't want you to give me all these benefits. I want you to let me have my own money back and let me be responsible. Let's dive into all these stories today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us, and we humbly thank you for coming back each and every day. And we hope that something I say or something that goes on in these videos will help you wake up to say, you know what? I should be doing better, and we should be wiser, and we should have a better common sense approach to that topic. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about Walmart. Walmart came out, and everybody's giving them accolades. And I'm not saying that I'm not happy that they're going to do what they're doing, but the question is, how long have they known their food is garbage? Listen to this. Walmart just exposed the big foods lie. So everybody's like, yes, Walmart. Listen, they're removing synthetic dyes and over 30 toxic additives from store brand foods. So that's the ones that they are over, like if you remember Great Value or Better Goods, the things that they were over. I think at one time it's Food Club, you know, those names. It says, their goal is to take that out because they're realizing these chemicals may be linked to cancer and neurological issues and behavioral disorders in children and young adults. But here's where it gets serious. These toxins didn't just suddenly come into existence. These toxins have been in our food, approved by our government, for a long time now. It says the science didn't just appear. Walmart knew for decades, and they sold this trash anyway. Why? Europe banned them. Walmart could not sell the garbage foods that they were selling in America, could not be sold anywhere else in the world other than like third world countries. Most other countries did not allow for the toxins and the garbage and the chemicals that are in our food in America to be placed in their foods all over the world. They would rather have no Walmart or ban certain foods out of Walmart than to have garbage and the toxins. So Walmart already knew their food had toxins and bad things in it and banned foods. Let's go back to what RFK said just a few days ago. Europe only allows 400 different ingredients in their foods for anything and everything made. We allow 10,000. Let me say that again. Europe only allows 400 different ingredients into their foods that have been tested and know that they're healthy. We allow 10,000. We allow 10,000 different chemicals and preservatives and garbage in their food, in our food. That is ridiculous. That we're supposed to be the top country in the world. Now, what are those things causing? Let's go to some doctors' reports because this is where it gets real serious real quick. It says poisons are in your pantry. Titanium dioxide, the safe white pigment, in 11,000+ foods, candles, gums, sunscreen, meds, is a neurotoxin and a blood-brain barrier. Dr. Jeffrey Bark exposes the truth. Originally, your paint, now in your toothbrush and in your toothpaste and in your dairy. The things that made up the chemicals that we used on everyday items to literally rip paint off doors, to build yoga mats, to then put in oil in cars is now going all in your food. This is from Valerie Ann Smith, and she shared this. What we don't realize is all these chemicals are causing us sickness. So yes, are we happy that Walmart is pulling this stuff out of our food? Here's the bigger question you have to ask yourself. How long have they known this stuff is in their food? How long have they known that this stuff has caused cancers and disorders for children? How long has the government known this, and how long has the government still allowed these things to be proved? Do you know who the biggest lobby in Washington, D.C. is? Let's go to that report. I grokked it this morning just to prove my point. Everybody always talks the biggest lobbies, APAC and all that. That's way off, like by hundreds of millions of dollars. Biggest lobbies in United States government right now. Pharmaceuticals, health products is 380 to 385 million just in 2024 alone. It is the top sector for decades, driven by drug pricing reforms, FDA regulations, and Medicare issues. Second biggest lobby is health sector overall. It often exceeds over 500 million when you add it all together because it deals with how to treat people with drugs and insurance regulations, tech and AI rules, and real estate markets, dealing with all health care provisions. Third, insurance tied to healthcare. So the biggest lobbies in Washington are the things that are actually causing us to get regulations or non-regulations passed that deals with pharma, deals with medicine, deals with food, deals with drugs. And we're the country that has all the chemicals in our food, and we just allow it knowing it's toxic to us. I always tell my family this, and this is honest truth, from my older kids that can go to a grocery store like Aiden to my wife when they shop. If we can't read the ingredients and know those ingredients and know exactly what those ingredients are, we do not buy it. If we see that and it says bioengineered food ingredient, we don't buy it. If we go and we see something that says, well, it has all this extra preservatives in it, we don't buy it. Now, do you know how much that hurts me when it comes to all the aisles in Walmart or Kroger or Albertsons or anywhere, even Whole Foods? When we can't name the ingredients, that makes our list very small. So that's why we grow so much food, because what we've realized is the chemicals in our food is causing cancer, causing neurological problems, causing brain problems, causing diabetes, causing Alzheimer's, and now it's linked to disorders in children. We wonder why our children are lackadaisical and they have ADHD and they have to be put on all this medicine at 10, 15 years old, and now they're prescribing GLP-1s to our children as young as 6. It's because our food system is broke. Now, yes, Walmart, great job getting this trash out. Way to go, RFK. But the bottom line is our government, along with big business, has been pushing this garbage. And all of a sudden, when it gets exposed, they're like, oh, who would have thought this stuff was in our food? The whole time they knew it was there. So let's make sure, let's don't give too much kudos to the people that just got exposed for actually putting the toxins in our food in the first place. Ask yourself, why is this stuff in there? Why can't we just eat healthy? Why do we have this garbage in there? It says that most foods that are in stores, like Walmart, grocery stores, are meant to be addictive. And it's actually not good for you whatsoever. It says 80% of all foods in grocery stores, 80% of all foods in grocery stores are absolutely terrible for you. Makes you think about shopping at Walmart and shopping at other groceries, huh? Why don't you look in your pantry and see what's on the back of your ingredients? If you can't read it, or if it has polysorbonate, which is a chemical in pickles that they use to preserve, you do know that's how they make yoga mats and flip-flops, right? When you see things like hydrogen, like margarine, for instance, that was a byproduct of the gas and oil in your car, and you're putting that on your food. There was a guy that was shopping and he was buying Tums because he had an upset stomach after all the Thanksgiving and Christmas festivities he had. And he said, you know what, turn around, and it had the titanium dioxide in it and so many other chemicals. Things that we would typically say, like shellacking the piece of furniture right beside me, had the same ingredients in it. And it's supposed to ease your stomach? What if it's just to make you more sick and reliant on the regulators to tell you what's healthy and not? It's unbelievable. Did you know healthcare keeps going up too? You wonder why. Now this leads me to the next story, Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck has an honest plea to help this lady who made she at first, the whole story was basically she was approved to have assisted, suicide by the Canadian government. See, this is what happens when government gets in your life, like we were talking about the food, is socialized medicine is not the answer. Someone's got to pay for it. Not only that, socialized medicine gives the power to the government. So if they find you not worthy of that surgery or not worthy of that procedure, you're declined. And if you can't self-pay for it, guess what? Too bad, so sad. It says that right now, MAID, M-A-I-D, assisted suicide basically, that program is becoming one of the biggest killers in Canada. Because what happens is people can't get the coverage they need and they're still suffering. They're like, well, I guess I just need to pass on. And the government is allowing them to do it. And the government's even paying for it. They're subsidizing you to harm yourself. There was an old report from the Club of Rome. The guy was interviewed. And he stated that the world's made up of 8 billion people. We need to get down to 2 billion, but we need to do it in a civil way. We need to make sure it's not through war. It's through protection of people in a way that's honoring. How many times have you seen the commercials in some of these areas talking about assisted suicide and euthanizing? This is exactly playing into the globalist agenda. Mark Carney, the leader of Canada, you do realize he served on the World Economic Forum's main advisory board, right? So what Glenn Beck has done, he has come in to pay for her surgeries to get done that the doctors would not do to try to save her life. Here's the thing. We're wanting socialized medicine here. Democrats are pushing for socialized medicine here. Your healthcare cost is ridiculous. Mine went up 30%. And I'm on a Christian healthcare ministry participation. So I didn't even feel that. I felt about 10%. But my job, my work, the ones that I provide for employees, employers, guess what? It went up 30%. So what it does is it makes it so untouchable. So then people say, well, I've got to have government's intervention in my life. I need government to subsidize and give Medicare for all. That's what the Democrats are pushing for. Guess what it does, though? It puts them over your health care. I had a gentleman one time tell me he was 88. Great health to be 88 years old, but he had a problem with his knee. And he said, and this was just a simple Medicare patient, he said, I have to pay for my knee to get done. And I said, well, I thought you're on Medicare. And he said, no, they declined it. He said, because of my age, they just said they didn't know if I was going to make the surgery. So anyways, long story short, he went through and paid for his own knee surgery. Now, take that in the grand scheme of things of another 150 million people put on the government's docket to take care of. Now, the government has done a horrific job of taking care of its people. Wouldn't you agree? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all those expenditures are terrible. We are realizing the waste in government, all so forth. And we want them over more of our life? What if they decline you and say, well, you have this stage 2 cancer, but you're also diabetic, and also you have heart problems in your family. We're going to decline you the surgery right now. You don't believe that's going to happen? That's what Glenn Beck is warning of. Please stay away from this socialized medicine. Please focus on not becoming Canada. Please make sure that we try to fix the healthcare system. But here's the thing. As much as he please, as much as we want to change it, the 3 biggest lobbies in the United States government, for your Congress and your Senate to make loads of money, the regulators to regulate your food and regulate your diets and regulate your health care, they're the 3 biggest lobbies in the United States. Billions of dollars flowing in. So I don't know if there's any change coming. But until we get the lobbyists out, until we get term limits in, until we get good, honest people in Washington, nothing will take place. Love seeing RFK make the comments about it. Love seeing what Glenn Beck's doing. Love seeing that Walmart is all of a sudden getting a conscience and pulling it out. But the bottom line is, we have a way bigger problem when it comes to our health care and our food. It's terrible. Now, last story. This is the one that makes me mad. I'm going to probably turn red. You're going to see my face literally turn red. I got robbed, as I say, every year with property tax. Now, I want to kind of walk you through. I have a paid-off business. I have a paid-off farm. I have a business that runs my YouTube. I have a home on this property. I'm building my son's home. I have a pond. I have some cows. I have some barns. And all that sits on one property. Yes, I have a business that makes money, but it's not like it's a multi-million-dollar business. It's not like that. It's just a business that floats my income. It's a family business. So it pays for my father and me, and we have a few employees. Nothing major at all. Just a normal job. Yes, we have this farm, but to be honest with you, it's agriculture. It grows cows, and to be honest with you, it loses money because cows don't really make money, but they allow us to have our food and save money on food. I got my bill in, and if you don't believe me, I'm going to do a short today. I want you to go back and watch it. Over $37,000. It's up 25% more than last year. I called the guy. I called the tax assessor. I said, what's the deal? He said, well, the supervisors in your area, we had to go up 25 to 30% because of the cost of things on us. Okay, so let's go back for a second. Part of my land is in the town limits, the city limits, corporal limits. There's nothing down here. We have one city light. I don't get any city services. We have our septic tanks, so we have 3 septic tanks on the property for our homes and businesses. We have 4 water wells that we bought, we paid for. Septic tanks we paid for. At Aiden's house, I just paid for a new water well, new septic tank. 4 water wells. We have garbage pickup. We have a dumpster that we pay a private company to do. We don't use government services. We also homeschool our children. Everyone on the property has never went to school system other than Aiden's fiance. That went to the school system, and she doesn't live here yet, but she will. So out of the 10, 15 people on this property that live here, no one's went to public school except for us when we were children, me and Misty. All that, and my property tax went up. Again, I'm out of debt. So basically, I never own my land because I have to pay at least $3,100 a month to cover the cost of just saying I own a property in this town. You wonder how Agenda 2030 and you wonder how the reset's going to happen? It's because I just mentioned to you, food is killing us and causing us to be sick. Number 2, we see that yes, government healthcare is going to come alongside us because the amount of cost of healthcare for a typical family my size was like a family of 4 to 6 kids. Like I have 6 kids, so it's a lot. But I'm just being honest. Anywhere from having 2 to 6 kids, they said the health care cost would be 35 to 50 grand a year. Most people don't even make that. And then all of a sudden we see property tax going up and up and up for nothing. I literally have one city light. I don't partake in any other government services. People say, well, you're being protected by the police and the cops and the sheriff and the fire department. I've begged for a fire hydrant to be close because even 3 firemen who are dear friends of mine who are over the fire department all stated we couldn't get close enough to your house with a fire hydrant, and to be honest with your house and your business and your farm would burn down before we would get there because we don't have enough water tanks to put out a fire on your property because there's not a hydrant close. So the city's not doing their job with the hydrants, are they? They said, well, the police are going around. You know, I'm in a safer area of my city, county, town area. But to be honest with you, we've had shootings every night this week. Not in my area, but there's a problem. The police and sheriff are great people. But there's a problem because all these people that are on government pay and Medicaid living in government projects, guess what they're doing? They're literally harming each other and murdering each other and in gangs and drugs. Just being honest. You want to be honest? Let's be honest. I'm getting robbed to take care of people who don't take care of themselves, and then ultimately I'm the one that loses the land, the health care, and the food rights. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. The only person talking about this is Ron DeSantis. Now, is it a talking point? Because I don't believe anybody's going to cut the expenditures. But I can go and see new police cars, new police trucks. I can see new fire trucks. I can see new teachers coming, which the school system's like a grade D or C in our area. I can see all these things happening. All these people hired at the courthouse to work into the county jobs. And what do they actually do for us? When you think about it, what do they do for us? They really don't do much. So I get sick and tired of justifying my tax dollars when I'm already paying 35 to 40% of my income to the government. Then I pay another gas tax, I pay another wholesale tax, I pay another income tax, I pay another state income tax, I pay another property tax, I pay another... I'm sick of being robbed. All in all, I bet you if you really added it up, most of us are paying 50, 60, 70% of our income to taxes. And the rest is made up with health care, food, and all this other frivolous crap that we have to pay for. I'm sick of it. And to be honest with you, RFK's plea, Glenn Beck's plea, now my plea. It's time to fix our government from the local all the way up. I don't want to hear my supervisor tell me how much he's helping me because he ain't done jack crap for me. I don't want to hear how much my sheriff and police are doing for me. I love the guys. Great people, great friends. But it's just not worth $37,000 a year to pay for all this stuff. I want my own land, my own farm, and if I own it, the government shouldn't be able to take it just because I'm not paying a quote-unquote tax on it. It's amazing. I started building Aiden's house debt-free, cash-free, nobody. They could run drones over here and see a property getting built with a concrete slab and a building going up, and they said, well, that's an addition on your property. I'm going to charge you more. Whew. Okay, I'm turning red now, so I better end this video. If we want to change America, it's going to start with quit letting our government rob us blind. Truth. Thomas Jefferson said, for the people that work for their wages, it is wrong for a government that actually is a quality government looking out for its people to take away their bread. What he was saying was, it's wrong for us to tax our people when they're the ones working to provide for their families. It's not the government's job. Pay attention to these stories. Our government's way too flippin' big, from the local to the state to the federal. And we need a reset. Not the one they're wanting, but a true one that means freedom and liberty comes back. Let me know your thoughts for today. God bless.
Be free, be free.